Stars are whispering tales of old, planets spinning, stories bold. Life is dancing through the night, countless worlds in the starlight. Galaxies full of mystery, infinite in their history, beyond our dreams and our sights. Life blooms in the cosmic lights, dancing on the edge of space. Take me away, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night. Nebulas with colors bright, birth new wonders in the light. Comets trail their sparkling tears, life endures through the years. In the silence of the void, every heartbeat is enjoyed. From the depths and to the heights, life expands through cosmic night. Dancing on the edge of space, and off we go, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night. Dancing on the edge of space, and off we go, feeling the universal grace. In the dark our hearts ignite, life across the endless night.
Hello. We are open for business once again. This is Mark D'Antonio, Skytour Livestream. What a whirlwind this month has been. I'll tell you about it in just a bit. This telescope is what we're going to use tonight. As you can see, the Wickenburg telescope, the sun is still setting there, but we have some clouds. So we're going to skip that tonight and go just here to the Benson telescope. It's so much fun to have two, because now I can just open when the other one isn't. We have not been open for a couple reasons. Number one, May 27th, I went to California, had to do some talks. Went to Arizona, then drove out to Palm Springs to do talks at Contact in the Desert. I did 5 different lectures there. And Tiffany and Michael were there. It was great to see them. And Tiffany's in the chat here. I can see her down there in the chat. Okay. And so we did 2 sky watches, which resulted in I got on CNN with one sky watch. It was nice and enjoyable. And then I came back here on the 4th of June, and when they got back here, I actually ended up heading on out to Pine Bush to do the Pine Bush conference, which was interesting, and that was on the 7th. So I got back on the 4th. I had the day off on the 5th, and the 6th I drove out to Pine Bush, did the talk on the 7th. So that was fun. A very good time. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, we still have some sky to look at, and I see one star up there. It's not dark, as you can see, and that's fine. You can see the brightness up there, you know. But I like starting a little early. I've got to acclimate the telescope, let it cool off, and I figured you come with me. It's fantastic. So that's all good. And now what I'm going to do is just do a little bit more housekeeping while you guys are here on the horn with me. And we'll just do that. And so I'm going to do that as well. And it looks like it's pretty good. And I'm pleased to say that everything seems to be working just great. Yay! All right. So, that said, let me get rid of a few things. Do my final housekeeping here. And come in here. Alright, there we are. And I'm gonna... Oh, what am I doing? I don't have to do this. Alright, just a second. Alright. Alright, so. Yeah, we're doing okay here. It's getting darker. Telescope is pointing up to the north right there. You can see it right here, pointing up to the north. Right here. Up there, the upper left. Yep. Alright, oops, that moved. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there it is. There's the telescope pointing up there. So I want to say hello to everybody who's here, and I see that we have, let's see, Carl Becker is with us, Michael Hedrick, Richard Spencer. Hey, Richard, good to see you. Tiffany Echo. Hi, Tiff. Nice to see you very much so. Cosmic Ray is with us. Tim F., Catherine Messick. Kathy was out at Contact, and she had her daughter Candace with her. It was very nice to see them both. We have Astro Ape. What's up? Trisha Ferreira, Daisy and Zoe Amethyst. And Astro Ape is from the mountains of North Carolina. Wonderful. Very nice. Yeah. And Sally Forth is with us. Nice to see you, Sally. JSCO 77 is good. All right, I got one more little thing to do here. So we have time. Here we go. All right. Do that. Okay. So as I said, we're not going to be using this telescope tonight because we have some clouds out west of Phoenix, and so it's actually going to clear up later. This is our wide field system. We're going to use the narrow field system here. We're going to use the narrow field system here tonight. So this is good. And right now our sensor, the cooler has to be turned on. So I'm going to turn on the cooler now. There we go. Right now it's off, and we're going to turn it on. Okay. So the sensor is set to go down to minus 20 degrees Celsius to supercool the sensor. And it's 36.68 Celsius, even higher now in the building. And our sensor's at 28.3, and will drop. So we got some time for it to drop. As it drops, we're going to see noise level in the background here get a little less, and we'll see more stars showing up. I have a couple other applications to bring up. I've got to bring up our guiding system. I've already brought up the planetarium. So we have a few galaxies to look at tonight up in Virgo. We got plenty of galaxies. It's still not dark enough yet, but that's okay. We still go to town. And maybe we can start by going to Spica here. Let me get us going over to Spica. Alright, so I just gotta set up and connect. So now the telescope is connected. Yeah. So tomorrow's Father's Day, isn't it? I think that's pretty cool. Hi, Judy M. Nice to see you. Daisy and Zoe say this will be a nice distraction from the 4 days of rain in our forecast. Yeah, same here. We got a little bit of rain in our forecast, which is like, rain is an astronomer's, it's the days of revenge. We can't stand rain. Just like we can't stand a full moon. Except if we were lunar astronomers. And even they don't look at the moon when it's full. So, that's okay. Alright, so we got Spica in here. We're connected over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the telescope flip around and try and go to Spica. And there we go. I told it to go, and you'll watch the telescope up here start to move. You see it go. There it goes. Yep. Yeah, and this, if you can't see the telescope because it's dark, you can see this. And this shows you what's going on. And Spica is just on the southern horizon, the southern meridian there. So as we bring in, we should see a bright star come in here. Okay. And if it doesn't come in yet, we'll make sure that we get it to come in. Every time we do this, we have to try and get it to happen. Right now, let's see what's going on here. Let's do this and reconnect. Alright, there we go. My crosshair wasn't showing. Alright, we're not quite lined up where we need to be, which is fine. We'll always make that work. Not sure which way we want to go. The Spica is going to be very bright. Okay, we are at 2 degrees Celsius on the cooler. Alright. Here was a satellite through the view right there. All the happy little satellites traveling through our view. Let's see if we actually can have it tell us where we are yet. I don't think so. It doesn't have enough stars because it's not quite dark enough. Yeah. That's okay. When it gets darker, we'll be able to. I could actually let's do a 5-second exposure and do it again, and we might have enough with the 5-second exposure to determine where we are. Let's try it again. Yeah, that worked. Alright, so now what we can do is, yeah, that's about right. Okay, and then we can do this. We can tell it to, we're going to have it plate solve and resync on Spica. Alright, so now the telescope will move to Spica. And it will be aligned. Hey Sarge, how you doing? Okay, we're not there yet. It's only 1 degree offset. Let's see if it knows where we are now. Okay. Let me go back here and center that. By the way, we're also going to look tonight at, we're going to go to Corona Borealis over here, and we're going to look at that star, T-Core Boar, that was supposed to potentially go nova, and we'll see what it looks like tonight. I did photograph it the other night, and it looked much like it has before, but that's okay. If we keep looking at it, we might be able to catch it. Be really cool if we could. We've gone to night mode over here. That's why it's so bright in the Wickenburg telescope. Alright, so Astro Ape says smoke's been pretty bad because of the fires. Yeah, it's been hazy here as well. It's been very, very hazy here. Oh, Daryl's fine. He's just responding to Sarge. He is asking how Daryl is. Daryl is fine. I gave him the option of joining tonight, and he said, no, you go ahead. So he did not want to come in tonight. I mean, I gave him 4 minutes notice. What more does he want? Just kidding. Obviously, you'd want more notice than that. So let's see here. Let's go back here. And I'm going to come over here. All right. Let's see if I can... I thought it was the other way. Okay, here we go. There it goes. Spica just went blasting through. I thought it would. I need to slow this way down. I'm taking a 5-second exposure too. I'm going to go back to 1 second here. And there it is. Okay. Coming back. Alright. So there's Spica. Alpha Virgo. You can see that it's not quite lined, but I'm doing it right now. 2 moon, 2 few stars, correct. But it's lining up. Okay. Alright. And what I'll do now is center in the view. There it is. Now it's been centered in the view, and we can bring this up. Alpha Virgo, 67 Virginis, Spica, Azimuth, magnitude 0.98 telescope magnitude. The brightness and the magnitude is interesting, and every magnitude down, if you go from to a fainter magnitude, stars are 2.512 to the number of magnitudes fainter. So if you go to a star that's fainter by 5 magnitudes, that's 2.512 to to the 5th power, which means it's about 100 times fainter. And so it's a logarithmic relationship. If you never learned logarithms, it's just a fancy way of multiplying numbers to get different numbers. All right, and so the log system is what we use. Okay, so now let us go here to this, and now we're locked onto that. Let's just make sure we are set to those coordinates. There we go. All right, so we're now locked on Alpha Virginis, which is Spica. Beautiful blue star. And if we look at the data, and again, we're waiting for it to get a little darker. You can see up there, it's not quite dark. Alpha Virginis is a star of type B. So you have O, B, A, F, G, K, M. O's are hottest and bluest. B's are next in line, but they're still less hot, but still blue. And it's a star that's a B1 V, meaning Roman numeral 5. So you have a numeric designation. It goes from B0 to B9, okay, and less B-like. And then you go to A0, which is actually Vega. And but a B1 with Roman numeral 5, okay, which is the V, means that the star is fusing hydrogen into helium normally. And that's what this star is doing. It's just a normal B star. All right. So that said, this normal B star that we see here is really quite interesting, being that it's just about 250 light years from us. So that's pretty good. It's pretty bright in the sky. So you're seeing the light from this star in this view, in this live view. You're seeing it as it was 250 years ago. Right? So if we were to do like a 10-second shot here, we'd see more stars in the view. And you'll see them in just a sec. Okay, you see the progress bar over there on the right, just right next to our Asterian Foundation moniker. And I'll do it again, this time with this off. I'll actually live stack this, why not? Just to show you. Okay. Alright, so there it is. Now, it hasn't been color corrected. If I color correct the image, it's going to look like that, a little bit less so. That's not green, that's incorrect. That's just that we don't have enough data yet. Okay. And so now we're seeing this. Alright. Now, because it's not dark yet, the color correction scheme is not doing what it should do. But it will once we, if we do this, see, it wants to pull the blue out. And the reason, of course, is because there's a lot of blue in the sky right now, so it's trying to balance the star colors. So that leaves it kind of looking green. So it's not yet correct. All right, so but that's Spica right there. And let's see if it'll give us it should have succeeded here. There we go. All right, so it's all centered up, everything's good, we're all aligned. So now as it gets darker, we'll be able to see some other things. Let's go to our planetarium here. All right, and let's hop out of Spica for a minute. And let's go. By the way, just so you can see, in the Wickenburg scope, in the Sonoran Desert scope, you'll see it has this error. This error is not real. It's real, but it shows up because the images are too bright right now, because it's that netherworld between daytime and nighttime, and it's gone to nighttime where it increases the exposure length. And when it increases the exposure length, well, it's pulling in too much light, so we get bad images. This will stop in a few minutes, and we'll go back and forth, and you'll see it. Okay, so now over here, let's come back here now. Alright, so now Spica is centered up. We got it all set. We're good. So I'm going to come back and do our 1 second shot here. And let's go look for something bright that we can check out immediately. And if there are those of you in the chat that understand the nighttime sky and would like to recommend something, I'm happy to do it. Okay, so Astro Ape says, I wonder if T Corboreal has been the single most observed star of the stars by amateurs over the last 1.5 years. For sure. For sure. I'm sure it was, Astro. Clearly, I mean very clearly, the star is doing some cool stuff, things that we actually never expected, right? So, we knew that it was a star that goes nova every 80 years or so, and that's pretty cool. So, but this being Spica, we're going to actually look at this T Corboreal in a bit. It's over toward the west a little bit, so it's still actually toward the east. So what we could do is we can go check it out now and see if we can see it. I imagine we could, but there it is. It's right there, the blaze star. Alright, so let's go and check it out. Let's move over. There goes Spica. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, you'll notice the telescope is spinning around because it has to flip axes in order to go over there. Awesome Hippopotamus, how you doing? Centaurus A is on our list tonight. Yep, I photographed it last night. It's in the murk, you know, so it's kind of tough to see, but you know, it's far enough up in the elevation that we can actually image it, but it looks a little bit red because of the murk we're looking in. And that's okay. Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's come down here. Let me go into pre-processing. Okay. Let's go into this, make sure that we are doing the right thing. Oh, we're not doing the right thing at all. Okay, now we are. That's going to change everything. Oh yeah, far better. I was capturing an 8-bit. Okay, so just to show you, over in the Sonoran Desert scope, now the exposure time is better, and we're able to start to see some stars amid the bright sky. So it got dark enough so that the exposure time doesn't blast out the sensor. Okay, so where we are now is where T Corboreal is, and I'm not sure if we have enough here to calculate its location. Oh yeah, we can. Alright, so maybe now what we can do is plate solve and resync to it. Okay, can't find a solution. I know why. We're gonna do we're gonna do a 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna do set this value to 1 second because that's our defined one. I'm gonna go to a 5-second shot. Alright, and that'll show us more stars, and we'll be able to locate T Corboreal probably. Okay. I haven't focused yet either, by the way, so we're going to do that too. Okay, so now we're going to plate solve and resync. T-core bore. There we go. There we are. We moved now to T-core bore. Again, it's a 5-second shot. And I'm now going to go back to our 1-second shot here. Alright, let's find out where it is. This might not... Yeah, so that's it. What's interesting is, it's going to move into our view here. What's fascinating about it is, last night when I looked at it, it wasn't quite this bright. And I was using a lower gain. So I'm wondering if something's happening right now. Osmopotamus says, Centaurus A is too low for me to see with the pesky light pollution. You're in Bortle 7. Well, we're at Bortle 3 here. But right now we're acting like it's Bortle 7 because of the sky being so bright because it's just past sunset. But that's us. You know, we'll get it. We'll make it work. I'm very pleased that you guys could join me tonight. So, as I said, I did the Contact in the Desert. I was there from the 27th to the 4th. Came back on the 4th, actually, and had one day off. Then went to New York State for the 6th to speak on the 7th. And then came back on the 8th, and then I did some radio shows. I did Jimmy Church. Before I went to Contact, I did I did Coast to Coast with George Knapp. And now I will be pretty much free until the end of the month, I believe. And then, actually, unless something comes up, I have a few podcasts and stuff to do for folks, and my radio show, of course, on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on KGRA. And then we will be clear until July 24th through the 31st. Because I'll be going to Phoenix to do some maintenance on these guys. And to also speak at the Phoenix group there. And I'll be doing a talk on interdimensional travel. It's actually a very popular talk that I've done before. I may spring that on you here, actually, and do that with you. Not tonight, but I may do the interdimensional talk. It's really so cool. Just to get it on record. It's actually very popular, and, you know, I'm an astronomer, as you guys know. This is what we look like. Ho, ho, ho. Okay. But we actually have the opportunity, all right, to make ground here with people, you know. Tiffany Echo says, OMG, Michael says January for July sometimes by accident. Yeah, I said January too, didn't I? It's a J word. The blaze star is actually on that object. This is a red giant star right here, and that red giant is actually let's see if it won't be able to find it because it's not enough stars or not enough exposure. If I can use it, this blaze star is a red giant which has a companion you cannot see, and the companion is a star that's a white dwarf. And there we go. So now this should work. Again, I didn't even focus yet. But the white dwarf is interesting because the white dwarf, alright, still not quite. I should probably focus. The white dwarf is interesting because it's orbiting this red giant like this, okay? Very, very close. And the red giant is so big now, alright? The white dwarf previously was a red giant, and then it shrunk down, and this star stayed intact. And now that the white dwarf has shrunk down, this one went red giant. And now it's leaking hydrogen through the common center of rotation called the barycenter onto the surface of the white dwarf. And if the white dwarf is less than 1.44 solar masses, that's the magic number, Okay. Then the hydrogen gas can build up to the point on the surface where it will spontaneously fuse. And we have this runaway fusion for a short period of time. And that runaway fusion causes the brightening of that red giant, that white dwarf, by a huge amount. And when it does that, okay, it will actually cause the star to look like it's much more massively brighter for a period of time. And when that happens, then the star is fusing off that hydrogen on its surface, the white dwarf is. And when it's done, it goes back to being just a white dwarf orbiting this red giant. The problem is that when the star has this stuff leaked, when a red giant leaks too much hydrogen through to the white dwarf, and that the white dwarf before this happens was already close to this magic 1.44 solar masses threshold. If that hydrogen gas leaking onto the white dwarf increases the mass until it's more than 1.44 solar masses, then you get a supernova explosion, because that means the star can no longer support it can't push out with a special pressure called electron degeneracy pressure that holds that white dwarf up. It's being crushed further, and that will cause that star to be what's called disrupted or go into a supernova state. And so those two stars, the white dwarf especially, and only likely, will go supernova, and that has a special name. It's called a type 1A supernova, and the 1 is a Roman numeral 1, so it's an I. So type 1A supernova. And this star won't do that because the white dwarf was smaller in mass. When it has all this hydrogen on its surface, it was smaller in mass, so it didn't have that happen. Okay, so that's why this star can repeatedly go nova over and over and over during the life cycle of this other star being a red giant. So it's pretty cool. All right, again, not quite dark enough out there, but we're getting there. Let's see if I can bring this in. C&D Boy's here. Hey, C&D, how you doing? Sarge, I'm glad you're happy to be here. Me too. Yep. Cosmic Ray added some details about Michael Woodman, a 15-year-old who discovered the flare star, what we call the blaze star. All right. All right, our temperature is minus 7.1 degrees Celsius. That's pretty good because the cooler can pretty much only go about minus 30 from the ambient temperature, which is 36 degrees. So we're right about there. And the cooler's running at 100% to keep it there. So it's minus 7.2. It's going to slow down. All right, that's pretty good. All right. Let's see, while we're here, let's see if we can get this to do a focus run for us. Okay, so I took it out of focus. All right, that's probably going to be too much. Let me just drop it down a little. I want to catch a narrow band of the focus here. All right. And as you can see, this indicates that we still have some brightness in the sky here. Okay, so this brightness is what we're contending with. That's why our sky over in here looks a little blue still. Okay. All right, let's do this. I'm going to go down to a 3-second exposure so I can actually try and do everything in a shorter amount of time here. let's do that. We're getting going. Over here you can see an aircraft going through the view here. This is an airplane. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these red beacons. It's actually a 12-second exposure. So there we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So in a 12-second exposure, we would expect to see a 12-second string of lights. That's what we do. So it's clearing up out there. So those clouds will pass. Maybe we can open up out there. We'll see. Okay. I'm going to go back here to let's go to 1 second again and see what we have. It's still a little bright out there, as you can see. I was going to start at like 11:45, and I decided to start here when I did. That's okay. Let's see now. We have the blaze star here. There's Vega, and you can see it's rising above the horizon with Cygnus. No, you can't see it yet. Now you can. Here's Cygnus. The summer sky is rising. Here's the Milky Way rising right here. The summer Milky Way. It's going to rise up and arc over the top of all this. Here is Scorpius rising here. Partly up. You can't see it, but it's there. Okay. Let's see if we'll come back to this. Let's head over in that direction so we can actually get a focus run done. Okay. Alright, so let's do this. Here we go. Why is it doing that? Oh no, I got a shift state thing stuck again. I think I got a shift state issue again. Oh no, don't do that to me. Okay, well, we're going to figure this out. This happens sometimes where the keyboard does some wacky things. And I just want to go here. So there it is. That's selected. And we go there. Okay. Got it. So you see our crosshair come down now. See our telescope move. Moving down the Scorpius, and you're going to see, hopefully you'll see M4, Measure 4. There it is. Globular cluster. Pretty. Even if it is blue. Very nice. Alright, so let's bring this over. Cooler's at minus 6.2 Celsius, so it's working double time to cool off. Okay. So Measure 4 is a globular cluster. Really very pretty globular cluster. And let's see if it knows where we are. I mean, it should, but there we go. So Measure 4, and we're going to set the target name to that. All right. I like being able to bring up the names of everything. Okay. Now let's move into Alicia's with us. Alicia Veras, hi. Sam S is here. Hi, Sam. All right. Again, we are waiting for it to. Yeah, this is a little low right now. If we go and look at our, you can see how close it is to the horizon. Its altitude above the horizon is literally only like 20 degrees. It's 20 degrees above the horizon. So it's not very high above the horizon. See, there's the 20. And that's really low. So the stars aren't as clear. Ideally, you want the stars to be up over your head for the clearest ones, you know. We can still do what we have to do. But the Milky Way's coming up. There are lots of cool stuff. And later on in the season, look, the Lagoon Nebula is way on the horizon right here. Right there. Okay, that's the Lagoon Nebula. Its altitude above the horizon is only, holy cow, this is only 7 degrees above the horizon. I mean, with this telescope, we can see that, but as you'll see, when we look at the other beautiful things down in Centaurus that we were looking at earlier, or we weren't looking at yet, but we will look at. Okay, right now, if we come over to Centaurus, you can see that the Omega Centauri cluster is here. We zoom in a little, and here is Centaurus A. Okay, but we can try going here. I'm just checking the focus on the stars here. It looks reasonably good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to go to Centaurus, the Omega Centauri cluster, which is the biggest cluster in the sky. So we're going to try that now. All right, so we're going to zoom away, zing. Okay, and you'll see the telescope is going to be aiming way down. Okay, here it goes. Yeah, it's really looking low. Might be a little too low. Yeah, I think it's too low to see it. I think that, believe it or not, it may actually be impacting our wall. So Omega Centauri, not quite ready tonight. It's already past the south. I caught it here last night, but we could probably look at this galaxy. Let's try that. Centaurus A. So now it's going to lift up a little higher. We should start to see stars. There we go. Okay, and I think Centaurus A is right here. So what I'm going to do is just do this and bring us down a little bit, and then move our telescope over a little bit. Okay. And bring it down. Okay, now it's, again, we're not quite ready, as you can see from looking at our other view. It's getting there. Okay, overhead is quite dark, but we're looking kind of into the south. All right, so when we're looking, down in the southern area down here, it's still pretty bright. All right, so it's not really quite dark yet. This is a sensitive camera. All right, so now let's come back here, and at this point, what I'd like to do is let's try and actually take a picture of Centaurus A. And it'll be tough because it's in the murk, it's down low. Look how low the telescope is. It's looking, literally peering right over the very top of the building. Okay, well, let's do a 15-second exposure. Might be too bright, but let's try it. All right, and we'll come out of our low light mode and go into live stack. All right, and this should tell us what we want to do. Tell us what we want to see. This particular galaxy has this massive black band of dust across the center. Yeah, there it is. Okay, but you can see, of course, it's in the murk still. Let's change the color. You can see it very nicely there, actually. And if I do this, if I overproduce it, you can start to see that black band. Okay, and we'll just come out of that because it's best to let the natural abilities take over here. Alright, so as we get closer here, yeah, that's something. Okay, I'm gonna just make an adjustment here and give us a black level. Try to pull out some detail. It's a little early. We have 2 good frames, and I didn't even start the guiding yet. I haven't even connected the guider. So the telescope is doing this all now without any guiding. So let's actually get it to guide something. Alright, and there we go. Let's see if it'll find a star that we can guide on. Indeed, so we're going to guide on that. Alright. So now it'll take images. It won't take images if we can't guide. But it does the first couple. So let's pull this up and make that threshold a little higher. When we're down low like this, we can accept a little bit more motion. So we got 2 good ones, and then the rest were this. Here we go. Right. Now we are using an instrument that's got a pretty high focal ratio. It's f7 that we're running on right now. So that means that it doesn't have the best response. It's not like a wide field system like in the Sonoran, where we have a response of about f1.8. So it's f2 roughly, and that means it's a very, very powerful system. Let's see if we can. And we probably should be able to do this one. There we go, Centaurus A. We'll set the target name to that. Now again, you guys got to remember, if you want to support us, you can join our Patreon. Up there at the top, you can see join us on our Patreon. Go to our shop at Skytour Shop rather on Etsy. And if you want just to get the pictures, go to skytourlive.org. They're free. And what we save here, you can download. And that's all free. Alright, so let's save this image with annotations. So, in other words, with the labeling. Okay, so there we go. And now we can remove the labeling. We don't need it right now. Okay. It's 11:36. Amy, how you doing? Nice to see you. Hi, Sherry, how are you? Yeah, Amy, if you like this Galaxy, it's going to get better. It is in the murk, like I said, but you know what? We can draw detail out of this. That's the thing that I like about this. Let's increase our black level to show a little more contrast. Let's go to enhancement. We should have unsharp mask is on and color noise. If I take off color noise, watch. Ugh, look at that. But put color noise on and take off the color noise, we get like a 70% better image right off the bat. That's pretty cool. Alright. Hope you guys are having a fun time so far. It's getting dark enough where we can now see things without the blue cast. Our filter is we're catching some, but there's a little wind out there, so it's kind of blowing things around a little bit. I could just take the chance and just pop up the threshold a little bit and say, hey, we can maybe deal with it. Alright. This could be focused a little bit better. Yeah, according to the line, see that we got a wind gust right there. Let's go back here, make sure that we're still guiding. Yeah, we're still guiding. 7.41, 7.74. That's good. So the system is keeping everything locked on pretty solidly right now. There we go. We got a good one right there. We have 8 frames stacked, 12 that have been rejected. Thank you, Amy. I'm glad you love it so much. That's a very kind comment. Thank you. What I'll do is I can leave this up here for the moment. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I have to. There's a switch I can set to make this always on top. But I do want to get to what's behind here much at a time. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, look at the detail coming out. This is actually past prime viewing. If we go into our planetarium, see how far it is from the horizon? It's literally only 13 degrees above the horizon. So for us to get this much data out of it at all, is still quite good because there's murk down here. All right. Let's see if we can color correct. We got 12 frames accepted and 12 frames rejected. There we go. Look at that. A little better. That's better. I'm going to drop that. Here we are. So now, let's see if we can pull more detail by pulling this mid-level in. It's going to brighten the object, but it's also going to brighten a little of the background. But we can fix that. All right. Brighten some of the grain. Alright, and then this guy, this black level, as long as we don't go past our peak, it'll be good. If I go too far past the peak, we start clipping data that we might want, see? So I'm going to come back to just to the left. Right, and this noise you're seeing in here, this dotted stipple noise, that will go away over time if we get a lot more images stacked. Also, up here in the upper left, be on the lookout for our observatory mouse. There's a mouse that walks out on this shelf during the night, most nights, and it just seems to take in the night air and then goes away. It's pretty cool. He's not harming anything. He doesn't chew anything out there, actually. Make sure you subscribe as well, because everything we're producing here is yours for free. If you want to support us by coming to our Patreon and joining us for as little, I believe it's $5 a month, feel free. We would love to have it. We definitely need the help. We did win a small grant from Lowell Observatory and Asterion Foundation, which is over here. And they have provided us with money to buy a spectrograph so we can literally look at this galaxy and look at its spectrum, see what's coming out of this galaxy. This is a radio galaxy. It's emitting a lot in the radio frequency range. But there are galaxies that give off emission lines, which are spikes of material that are coming out and causing real hot gas emissions that we can actually see. All stars do this, obviously, and so we can check out the stars as well the same way. As well as planetary nebulae, they all are giving off emission lines as opposed to absorption lines. You know. So here we have 17 accepted, 17 rejected. Again, being that it's close to the horizon, that's pretty good. You know. C&D Boy says, my next door neighbor growing up as a young boy was a high-ranking Navy officer and taught kids the stars and navigation. That is the most incredible dying art right now, C&D. Okay, I'm going to unstack this last one. Oh, I can't. Yes, I can. Okay. Yeah, it's a dying art because when you look at navigating with the stars, it's pretty crazy because it's been very, very hard to navigate with the stars unless you're really formally trained. And that was probably with a sextant, which is a device to use to make measurements, and you can calculate where you are on the planet by the positions of the stars at a particular time. Okay. Let me look here and make sure. Yeah, we're still guiding. It's got secondary stars too in these circles. The square is the primary star it's guiding on. He retired as an admiral. Okay, wow. Calabos is here. Hey, that's Mike. Mike, it's so good to see you, brother. I saw Mike and Tiffany at Contact in the Desert. And during Contact, I had 5 different talks I did. 2 were Skywatches with Ben Hansen, my good buddy. And during those Skywatches, we gave away equipment. And during my talks, 2 of the talks, Mike and Tiffany, who are amazing supporters of Skytour Livestream, gave us equipment to give away. And we did. And it was really, really fun. You know, we give away binoculars, we give away laser pointers so people can point to different things in the sky. Okay. We had a little wind, which actually crept into our image here a little bit, but still, it looks pretty good. If we move this down, you get a better idea of what it looks like with some detail, see? This giant band, you can see it goes way outside this. There's a giant spherical galaxy. Not bad at all. Yeah, Calabo says it was a lot of fun this year. Next year will be even better. Yeah, you know what's amazing? CNN came out, as I mentioned, Mike, earlier. CNN came out and did one of our Skywatches. In the CNN piece, I heard from a bunch of people, oh, look at you when you're on TV. It was on CNN. And I've been on CNN before, but this time it was just showing me doing a Skywatch. There wasn't anything in particular that they didn't interview me for anything or anything, but that's okay. I didn't care. As long as this was getting out there. Look at that, huh? 26 taken, 22 rejected. We're on the upswing. Tiffany says she watched it this year. Awesome. I watched it today, actually. I wish they mentioned that we gave away stuff. Tiff was in the video very briefly holding a flashlight for the folks. Yeah. That's okay. Donnie O'Sullivan on CNN came out and did the whole story, which is very nice. Uh-oh. I dropped my glasses. Hey, Prow, how you doing? Prow's with us. So nice to see you guys. Look how low we're looking over here. The telescope is probably impacting part of the building, which is explaining why our images are a little weird looking. Because out that side of the building, there is a piece of hardware just slightly above the roofline, as seen from this telescope, and we're probably impacting it. But it's so dark that you don't actually see it. You don't see it really affecting. Yeah, it's probably just barely in there, yeah. Okay, so this is the view that we have right about now. That's the rotational view. All right, let's go see what we're looking like over there. Okay, so now we're getting a little darker out in Sonoran, and it's clear out there. But we'll stick with this telescope tonight. All right, here's what I'm going to do. We have 30. I'm going to save these. I've got this set as our object of interest. Okay, so we saved it. It's been saved as an astronomical file format. And then we'll save it as a ping file. Right there. So what's saved to the server is exactly this image here. You can go download that for free, no charge. Examine it, enjoy it. All right, so now that we're done with this one, let's go back to our low light mode, okay? And you'll notice that we won't really have a blue sky background now. Oh, yes we do. That's okay. And now that could be again because of our really difficult position. We're gonna go back to T-core bore. Okay, telescope's gonna head up. There it goes. It's gonna look at T Corona Borealis. You'll see the crosshairs coming up here in just a minute. Okay, we're gonna come around. Here we go. And now, that looks pretty good. All right, we'll do a 3-second exposure. And then do, that looks like T-core bore right there. So let's go back and see by checking. Yeah, so we're right back at the blaze star. That's good. And let's just take a few images of it. We'll just do a 15-second photo. And we'll go into our live stack here, go into our low light mode. I'm sorry, into our deep sky mode. Take off the low light mode over here. And you can see from the progress bar, I know the Asterian Foundation, which gave us the grant, they're actually very important to us. So there we go. So that's beautiful. Now what I'll do is I will adjust our curves a little bit. Pull this just to the left to give it a little bit more data, and then color correct enough just to kind of, there we go, beautiful. So there's T-core bore right there, for proof. There it is. Okay, the blaze star. There's a faint galaxy right here that you can see, IC 4587. We'll save this image with annotations, even though we've only taken one shot. I haven't actually done the I didn't start the guider right now, so I'm going to stop it and get us some imagery, or sorry, some stars. Let's see if we can grab a star automatically. If not, I'll make one. Ah, we got one. That's good. That's the one I wanted. Here we go. All right, so now we should start getting our stars, and we should start getting our images. Okay, stacked images. So now we're gonna see, we should see some of these start to work. If it says it couldn't align, that's a different issue, but yeah. Oops, what's that doing? Okay. I'll just wait. Alrighty. There's a few odd things that are happening here, but I'm not sure why it's doing it. Because they're under the threshold, it's most certainly have done it. So let's do this. Let's just clear again and start again. and see if it makes a difference now. See, so 7.42 is the target, and it's working at 7.42, so technically I should be able to drop it down, and everything else should come in as a green. Yeah, that's not right. I'm not sure why it does that. And it's also got the wrong object. I gotta change that. Okay. I wonder if I have to just... We're going to do this. We're going to go to a 25-second exposure. Make sure that's what it needs. Okay, I think I have it figured out. Let's try the default. Oops, I guess it's got to start over. Sorry. Okay, well actually, now I can take it down to, let's try taking it down to 15 seconds again. Yeah, Galaxy is actually kind of showing up. Let's see if that works better. Oh, no, did it again. Okay, so we're going to figure that out. Alright, let's do the same thing again. Let it start again. Sigma limit percent. Let's take the sigma limit up to 2 and see what that does. Could be saying that it's actually not focused. Maybe. Let's find out. We're going through a little test together. Okay, so still doing that. Sigma threshold, sigma low limit. Sigma threshold. Say 4 for that. That's kind of high. Let's go. Yeah, okay, that's good. Let's see what we get. I will find out what's going on with this because we're recording this, so I can send this piece of data to low limit. Let's try taking this back here. See if this helps us. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not doing that. Okay. Let's go to guiding. Yeah, only stack when guiding. I turned that off on purpose. But it monitors the guiding frame. Okay, it couldn't align. Obviously, it should be able to align. So, I know this happens from time to time, and I have to try and figure out why. Sensitivity, star detection. Alright. Maybe that's this one. Noise reduction, no. A line using 10 stars. That's a line with fewer stars. Let's see if that helps us. I can always go back to defaults on any of these things. Oh, it doesn't let me go to less than 10 stars. Okay. Turn up the sensitivity. Let's see what that does. Aha! Aha! Okay, we hit a magical value. Okay. See, I knew I'd get there somewhere, and I thank you guys for bearing with me through that. Very happy that we got through it. And we're still guiding fine. Very happy with PhD guiding. So we're very quickly now racking up exposures, which is good. Alright, we'll go back to our histogram now that we can. Color correct. That curve will slide over. We get a nice black sky. This galaxy shows up. And let's actually take our mid-level and bring that over. It'll get a little brighter and brighter and brighter. Now when we move the black curve in and we move this mid-level here, that's called a push. We're actually pushing detail from the, out of the data to try and get more. Beautiful star field though, isn't it? The red giant sticks out like a sore thumb. It's gorgeous. Michael Hedrick, sorry it's a long day. Cosmic Ray is asking if this is using an off-axis guider. Yes, we are. Okay. We're getting a field rotator as well, so we can rotate the field around, and then we would calibrate calibrate the off-axis guider each time, and that would allow us to have it know which way it has to go every time it corrects. Yep. So we have the off-axis guider that we're adding to it. I'm sorry, the field rotator soon. We need some modifications done though. When I go out in July, we'll probably get the get the field rotator, and then bring the whole back end of the telescope in to have our focal reducer reduced in size by the exact amount that the field rotator adds to the back focus. Creeptasia, what's up, man? Wow. And Michael, who's Calabos, says he did contact in the desert justice, in my opinion. I think you're talking about Donnie O'Sullivan, right? Look at us racking up these exposures. It's like we know what we're doing. Here we go. Okay, we're going to do 12 save. We're going to save at 12. And then we're going to save exactly a scene. By the way, another thing, we now have our own internet server out in the building here. It's being installed. What's today? Saturday. It's being installed Wednesday by Marianne, then someone named Heidi Gadd, and then Tara Diulis. So we're gonna, and Glenn will be there too, who's our on-site guy who shows up when we need him. He's been fantastic. And for his help, we got him Starlink as well. For everything he's done for us, Starlink is the least we could do to help him along. But they're going to install a Starlink system, and we're going to have our own internet out there. We're not going to have to utilize the internet provided for the entire mountain, which is great, but we're going to end up being able to get a better signal strength, we're going to be able to use the Wi-Fi portion as well. And I'm thinking I might try, while I'm there, I might try to use the Wi-Fi to see, because I have a pan tilt security camera I'd like to put in there so we can move around, look around all different directions. I'd like to do that so we can, you know, spy in other areas of the building. That would be very, very helpful. So we may do that. Okay, this I'm going to pull back really far just to check something out. Okay. Alright. Yeah, see, since making those changes, okay, only a couple went out. And the tracking, oh, we got a, was that a mouse whisker or was that a moth? Couldn't tell. The mouse sees the infrared. When he sees it, he goes, ooh. I've seen spiders in there too. Cosmic Ray, yes, I have the weather station here. Actually, I have it outside, and I'm testing it. And once I have the weather station, once I have the new system with the internet for Starlink, I'll be able to use the weather station through the Wi-Fi, exactly, because it's Wi-Fi connected. That is correct. And Cosmic Ray actually donated that weather station to us, by the way. Okay, 21 shots for 22. We're gonna save here. Okay, save exactly as seen. This image you can go grab, so you can say, hey, this is T-core bore. I'll do one more of these. I'll just align it properly. Did want to do that. I'll come back and we're gonna do the nearby alignment. There we go. Save with annotations, so that will show up in the directory as well, so you can see the galaxy and what it is. Okay. All right. Very nice. So we saved everything, and we can now exit out of this and head to something else, because right now we are in the dark. So let's check it out, shall we? All right. So 1 second of our low light here, and let me just come down here, get rid of this here, go into image. Where's image controls? I had those here somewhere. Yes, deep sky clock event, I know. I'm just looking for another thing I was looking for here. Oh, there they are, duh. Okay, so if I, bring that down. I gotta bring this up. I'm going to see, I've got that way up. I want to take this down. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's better. So that was just a artificial blue color that was induced, so that's much better. Okay, so now let's go back to here, and I know Leo is a little low right now. It's getting low. Can you believe it? Yeah, there's Virgo and Spica, and we got tons of galaxies in here to look at, and we will look at these galaxies. All right. And we'll get there. But I want to check something out here while we can. Yeah, Leo, look how low. Leo's already pointing down. What am I looking at there? Oh, Mars. Mars is right by Regulus. Mars is surprisingly not very, it doesn't look very good in this telescope right now. I have to work on that, but Mars is actually pretty low. It's not too close to us, so it doesn't look that good. So we're only looking at, it's only 25 degrees above the horizon. But back here, okay, 40 degrees, we have the Leo triplet. And let's see if we can grab the Leo triplet. All right. And then we'll come back and do something up in Virgo, I think. So let's do this. It's going to have to flip around. So the telescope's got to flip around and look toward the west. Or the east, rather. No, west. So it's going to do that flippy Rooney. And then it's going to swing around and head down toward the western expanse. And so by doing that, here it comes. And let's see if it caught it. Can't tell. Let's see if it knows where it is. Every time it flips over, it has a tendency to kind of lose itself. So let's let's make this a 3-second exposure and do this again. I'll go right for it. If we can get enough stars, I'll just tell it to do a plate solve and resync. Let's see if we can do it. Good. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that moved over. Got measure 66 into view, which is really nice, which is what I was looking at. Getting. Alright. Okay. So let's actually do a guide now. It's not guiding because I told it not to guide or try to guide when it's missing some stars to view or remove. Alright, so this should be a successful one here. Should pick that one. Good, thank you. Now we'll guide on that. And let's just make it a little brighter. Okay. Alright, so it's going to guide, and you basically you let it stabilize for a little while, and once it stabilizes, then you're good. Okay. So now we should be okay. I'm going to take this, and we're going to do a 35-second shot of this galaxy. So we're off and running. You see our progress bar over there, hidden behind the Asterian Foundation. And we're forever grateful to Asterian for doing this for us, giving us a grant for our spectrograph, which we're going to get and install. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this works. Okay. Let's color correct. Okay, there we go. Look at that galaxy. Isn't that something? You see all kinds of detail in this beautiful galaxy. Wow. And now let's go here and move this midline down just a bit to... Alright, there we go. Alright, we got two aligned. We got the obvious... Look at this beautiful... Immediately we see some gorgeous detail in here. This is great. Wow. Cameron the Guider Ray asks, "Hi Fantasy, Curtis Horn's with us. Hey Curtis, how you doing? Computer, I'll get to your questions one at a time here. What computer OS are you running? I'm running a mini computer out in Benson. It's working just fantastically. Ray, you sent us a mini computer That's still here because I couldn't get it to do what we needed. It's an Intel-based chipset in that, and I'm using an AMD chipset out here. But I still have it, and I'm testing it for other purposes, for like power cycling the entire building. And now let's see here. Ray also asks, what camera's on the guider? I'll show you the camera. It's listed here. It's the it's the 174 mm mini. It's the ZWO ASI 174 mini. You can see right there. Okay, I certainly won't be selecting it. Okay, but this Galaxy is looking beautiful already. And the 174 mini is actually a very good guiding camera. So it gives us the option. This is the view of it, and again, it's a monochrome. So here's the star image, and there's the point. When you have a nice point like that, it doesn't go too far saturated. That's really the best exposure. I'm doing 2-second exposure for each shot here, and as you can see, it's locked on solid. And let me see if we need to raise our. Okay, I see what's going on. We need to raise this up a little bit. Yeah, this telescope is sticking up in the air. We're getting a little wind. Let me raise this a little higher. That'll be good, because we're not having any problems. I can raise it as high as that green bar, actually. All right. With the higher focal length system, those numbers get high. With the wide field system, we won't use those. We don't see those big in numbers. We stay like 6 or 7 because it's a wide field. A narrow field like this, then the guiding is much more critical. This should be a green. Yeah, there we go. Good. So we should be able to crank out more here. Look at the colors. This is a beautiful color in this Galaxy. I'm telling you, this is something else. Let's. I like to color correct a little as we go, because you'll see we want the background to be of the dark of space, right? Now, when we get to the Milky Way, when the Milky Way rises, we won't see tonight, but when the Milky Way rises, we will end up seeing some tremendous detail in these clouds. Okay, let me show you. This is the view. I will refresh it. Okay, this is the nighttime view right now. Okay, this is looking toward, that's a dome on the hilltop right nearby. Okay, that in that distance, that direction over there, I believe is Tucson over that direction. Okay, and we have a small light dome from Tucson, but that's it. Right, you can see that it's really dark around the horizon, which is nice. Just beautiful. This is not my all sky. If it was my all sky, you'd see all kinds of additional detail like we see in this all sky cam. Here we get all this detail here that you just don't get in this other one, but that's okay. Look at this Galaxy, huh? This is coming out really nice tonight. Look at the detail. Wow. I would actually endeavor to actually take this down just a little bit more, actually. So take this, move it even down further to start showing us a little more detail. As we stack more images, okay, at 35 seconds an image, as we stack more images, the noise gets averaged out, and so the image gets better and better and better and better. You're watching it develop like film right before your eyes. Toner Lowe's with us. Hey there. Curtis Horn says everything's good and he's working on a new paper this summer. Excellent. I can't wait to look at it. If you send it to me when it's done. Love to read it. Yep. Yeah, Calabos, he's right. Please like and share. Helps the channel, really does. You know, I don't take any of the money that you guys in the Patreon donate. I don't take that. That's only for this. It's only to improve the quality of what I show you. And that's it. I will not and do not take any money at all from this. And it's not my intention to. I want to just improve the quality of your experience. I know that sounds like a line, doesn't it? But it's not. You guys know I've been a passionate astronomer for decades. And when I found that I had the opportunity to open an observatory, namely this one, out in the Arizona desert, I just decided, wow, I will do it. So, thanks to Marianne and Tara, the other two crazy people in our nonprofit, they supervised the building of the building, managed the roll-off roof hardware for my specifications I provided, and they did a phenomenal job. Then when this building became available to us, it's on a mountain out in Benson, Arizona, with 9 other professional astronomers. I couldn't say no. The Milky Way, we're at 3,600 feet here, and in the Sonoran, out here, we're at 1,600 feet. So we're literally 2,000 feet higher in altitude, and it shows. Because look at the quality of the detail in this image. As we get more detail, it just is stunning. We're above more air, and so that's less air that can affect our image in a negative way, right? So we just cranked off 10, and it looks perfect. And okay, there's one that's just at our threshold, so it didn't make the cut. Yeah. So I'm glad you guys are joining us on a Saturday night. I made some progress, by the way, on the solar observatory that I'm installing here in Connecticut. Because here in Connecticut, about all you can look at is the sun. The skies are not nearly as dark. I'm totally spoiled by Bortle 3 skies. Bortle 3, John Bortle came up with a I guess you call it a system for gauging sky brightness, and Bortle 9 is like the center of Phoenix, where you can't see anything, okay, or Chicago or Washington or New York. Bortle 0 is absolutely no sky brightness whatsoever, impeding your view, and Bortle 3, which is where we are, is just beautiful. It's gorgeous. We have a little light dome, as I said, from Tucson, and that's right there, and that's the only reason that it's a Bortle 3 instead of a Bortle 2. The sky is just so dark you can't see in the dark other than through starlight. The Milky Way provides you with a faint shadow, a fuzzy shadow, especially the center of the Milky Way where it's the brightest. Sagittarius star cloud will cast a shadow. This is beautiful. Let's do this now. I'm going to come back in here and set the target name to measure 66. Okay, and then save the image with annotations. Now, that circle does not indicate the full extent of the galaxy. So that's not correct. That's just something that the algorithm does. Fantasy says, I live in a Bortle 4 location. I bought my house way outside the outskirts to see a dark southern sky. That's fantastic. Yeah. And we were careful in the selection too, because I didn't want to have anything in the south that was affecting us. Yeah, and that's a problem. Fred Phone Pone lives under the smogberry trees of Pasadena. Yeah. So you're probably in a Bortle 7 sky, Fred. Maybe 8. I don't know, maybe 7 if you're in the suburb. Here where I am, I'm Bortle 5, 6 in Connecticut. You know. But I don't have an observatory out front here anymore. I used to. And Midget Bird says, are you photographing or just looking? This is a photograph that we're taking right now. It's a stack of 16 images so far. And what that means is we take one image, take a second image, align it with the first, and slam it on top. We make an image sandwich. And that removes all the noise that's random in our image and just gives you the data. So we can zoom in a little more, Midget Bird, so you can see what I'm talking about. Now look at that. You can see these gorgeous dark lanes in this galaxy, Measure 66. Okay. You can see star clouds out in Measure 66 here. And right now we have 17 taken, so if I hit save right now, okay, I've now saved the astronomical format, which people who want to analyze it themselves can use. Or if you just want to download a pretty picture, here's that PNG file. So what you get is this guy. I'll show you right here. Not that. That's not what you get. You get a 17 frame stack. Here it is. Alright, looks like we got another issue with the keyboard. I've got to just get rid of it. Alright, so I'll just show you. There you go. So this image is what you get if you go up to skytourlive.org right here. Right above me. You can download that image just like you see it. Okay. Alright. So let's get rid of this. I have 19 images stacked. What's the purpose of stacking? As we stack, when you take the first picture, it kind of looks grainy. As we increase the number of pictures that we stack on top of each other, we lose the random noise and get a clearer and clearer image. So it's like it's developing a perfect photo in front of you over time. And that's what we see here. Really nice. Okay, we're at 19 and we should go to 20. We just went to 20. I save on even numbers every 10 and sometimes in between. So I'll save exactly a scene again. This is really pretty. Yeah, look at that, huh? Have Fred Phonebone talking about dumping bodies. The Sonoran telescope out here, okay, to drive to it, you got to drive over 14 miles of desert dirt roads. And one time on the way out into the desert, Marianne and Tara discovered a dead body that had been dumped out there. So it wasn't too pleasant, and there's very little signal out there. So they think they called it in, but apparently they had already had it called in because there's residents out there too. And there was somebody out there when they came back, and it was all cordoned off. Yeah. Not sure if it was natural causes, because I can tell you right now, natural causes in the desert far more likely than anything else. The sun is unrelenting, unforgiving, and you could end up quite dead from exposure. I almost had a problem. See, this is a bottle of water. Well, unfortunately, I didn't drink the water I should have been drinking. And when we were putting in power lines, I was digging trenches. The trenches were dug, and I was filling them in. And I was in shorts with a bucket hat on, with a apron down the back to prevent the sun from hitting the back of my neck. I felt fine. Got home that night, and Marianne looked at me and said, "Come here." And she was a cop, remember? So she comes up and says, "Get over here." And when she says that, you listen, because she's a cop. And she pinched my skin and let go of it, and it stayed there. And she goes, "You're going to the ER right now." I go, "I feel fine." "You're going to the ER right now." Okay. So off to the ER I went. And by the time I left, they were naming a wing after me because I was demonstrating classic signs of dehydration, along with the irritation and obnoxious behavior associated with people that don't realize that they haven't had enough water. I took three bags, three of the big bags, three 1-liter bags of saline while I was lying in the hospital bed. It just went in like no tomorrow. And as it did, my head fog started to go away, and I started to realize, holy cow, I'm feeling much better. So, that was sort of early in my desert experience. Now, I don't think I'd ever do that again. I'm clearly knew I wouldn't do that again. Now, one thing I haven't seen, and they're out there at this Sonoran desert location, we have rattlesnakes. They're here too, and the rattlesnakes out there are the bigger they are, the less deadly they are. The smaller ones, the juveniles, they're the dangerous ones because they pump in venom and they don't know kind of when to stop. And so sometimes they pump everything they got, and the venom is dangerous, and you get necrotic tissue, and if you're in the middle of the desert, you may not get help in time, so you'll be very sick. You may not die if you're an adult. Dogs or children, they're gonna die. There's just no chance that they'll be rescued in time. When you live in a desert, people can get these, I won't call them passes, but basically they prepay for helicopter life flights out of the desert if they need them. And at the Sonoran location, out here, the people that live out there have these prepaid life flights. So if something happens, they get a flight, All right, so this is Measure 66. It's looking really stunning. This is, I think, the best it's ever been. You can see the blue of the young hot stars in this galaxy. The spiral arms here, you can see the beautiful dark dust lanes. These dust lanes have been littered through the galaxy by previous billions of years of supernovae that have occurred in here. Large red giants. Like this star may be a red giant. It's probably in the foreground up here. The galaxy's way out here. But these red giant stars, they litter the cosmos with dust in their outer atmospheres, because as they get older, they can make dust in their outer atmospheres if they're rich enough in carbon. And so we'll get lots and lots of that spread out into the universe, and we'll get carbon and silicon primarily in this dark dust out here. All right, so galaxies have this copious amount of dust, like we see here, and again, Measure 66 looking good. We've taken 30 images here. We're gonna save it now. Save exactly as seen. All right, and now this is going up. It'll be up on skytourlive.org in about 30 seconds. And we're good. So now what we can do is go back to our low light mode where you can see a little bit of the galaxy here. Here it is, just a little. We're going to zoom back out. All right, like that. Oh, had a satellite go through just like that. Okay, now we're just looking. We're not taking a photograph. Well, let's go back here. We'll see that Leo's already going to be touching the horizon soon. Okay, and let's now come up into the Virgo region. Here's Spica. Now let's do this. Let's go look at we got the Sombrero galaxy. This galaxy's cool. Let's check out the Sombrero. Okay, watch the telescope now is moving. It's leaning back and it's going to be heading to the Sombrero. It's going to be pretty quick. There it is. Can't miss it. Sombrero is really impressive. We're going to take some long exposures here and check it out. Let's also start up a guide session on this. All right, we got some stars. Let's see if we can pick one. Very nice. So we picked one, so let's guide on it. There we go. We're officially guiding on that star. Sombrero's close enough to center, looks good. And so we're gonna do 25 seconds on this one. We don't need to go 35. So we'll save 10 seconds. Primarily because it's almost 1 a.m. here. Alright, so we're gonna come out of low light mode and go into deep sky mode. Let's wait and see. Yeah, Prow, I actually remember you asking about checking out the Sombrero, and it wasn't up, if you recall, at the time. And now it is. And I have a feeling you're the one that reminded me to do this. Oh, look at the Sombrero. Look at that. Okay. See all the noise? See all this modeling? That's going to disappear very soon as we start to take more images here. All right. So this is our full frame, by the way. It's a square format. Okay. And the size of our field is 3008 by 3008 pixels. And the telescope is tuned to that very well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is kind of come back here. And let's move just to the left of our curve here so we can get the bulk of our data in here. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Wow, it's pretty. Just so you guys know, this is the first time we've viewed the Sombrero with this telescope. It's the very first time. And we are doing we have a narrow field system here, so what we're doing is we're actually seeing it much closer than with a wide field. In the wide field system, the Sombrero is literally about this big. It's just a tiny little thing. We can't see much detail at all. In this one, we're already getting some detail that is pretty cool. Look at that. Very nice. Yeah, we'll let that build up over a while and we'll get some really pretty imagery out of it. So first thing we'll do is get our location pinpointed. There's a Sombrero galaxy. All right. And the Sombrero, I'm going to center it. Okay. It's Measure 104, Sombrero Galaxy. So we'll set that to be the target name. We will save it with the annotations on it so that you'll always be able to see that. So when you go to the file folder on Measure 104, you'll see this image. Okay, you can download that so you can see it and have it as a reference for Measure 104. Okay. Yes, remember it was very small in the view. Tricia Ferreira says, one can only imagine what is happening in these galaxies that we can only view from afar. I agree with that. That's true. That's true. I mean, they may be looking at us and we're looking at them. So our lines of vision are crossing right now and we don't even realize it. Now, in my book, The Populated Universe, the subtext of the book is life in the universe may be the rule, not the exception. And I say that for a very important reason. Okay, first of all, many of you know what we're composed of primarily. We're composed of carbon. And carbon is the basis of all life on this planet. Okay, all life. Okay, there's no silicon-based life. There's only carbon-based life. All right? And in the periodic table, carbon falls above silicon, right? It's in that columns, the atoms that are most like each other. So if you have carbon right below a silicon, so silicon is most like carbon. And so if you can get carbon-based life, you might say, well, maybe we can get silicon-based life. That's where all that came from the knowledge of the periodic table and how it works. But the truth is that the silicon atom is very, very robust. It makes robust bonds. All right. And so when silicon bonds, it tends to make a crystal lattice. And crystal lattices are traditionally very, very strong. Those bonds are very solid, hard to break them apart. Witness sand, silicon dioxide, silicon with 2 oxygens, right? So when we talk about silicon dioxide, we're talking about a solid material that you walk on the beach, which is mostly gas, but you're walking on it anyway, okay? And so silicon dioxide is a very, very, very tenacious bond. It's very hard to break it up, you know? The only way to break up the bonds is to burn it up, typically, and that's what happens when a grain of sand comes into our atmosphere. We see it from 90 to 100 miles away as a bright flash in the night sky, a meteor. So that's how much energy is involved in trying to actually break apart a silicon bond. Carbon bonds are very different. They're less tenacious, and they're much easier to make. Carbon we call the granddaddy of all elements, and I've told you this many times, because when we look at this element, it bonds with more elements and makes more combinatory compounds than any other element in the whole periodic table. Any, hands down. So that said, carbon makes bonds very easily, and it breaks bonds very easily. Those of you watching right now, each of you are having hundreds of thousands of carbon bonds being broken and built as we sit here talking right now. Okay, hundreds of thousands of carbon bonds. So carbon is very important. Carbon is the fourth most plentiful element in the entire universe, and oxygen is the third. So this all goes all the way back to Tricia Ferreira's comment when she says one can only imagine what is happening in these galaxies that we can only view from afar. As we look at this galaxy, we're probably looking at other carbon-based beings. These carbon-based beings are looking back at us from their locations and saying, I wonder if there's life out there. And we're saying it at the same time. I wonder if there's life out there. We're all saying it at the same time. And the answer is that there most likely is a lot of life out there. And what do you think of this image, by the way? Is that not beautiful? All the other stars. Let's zoom in a little bit. Look at that. Beautiful galaxy. You can see that we're looking just below the galaxy and looking toward the nucleus of the galaxy here, which is right toward the center. We're kind of seeing through all those stars until we see that really, really bright center. And it's not quite as big on top here as it is at the bottom because we're kind of looking up at the disk. It's a very nice disk galaxy here, and it's just beautiful. So if we color correct one more time, we'll see that the color correction puts the black background a little bit more black. And we can actually pull this guy over a little more. Just don't climb too far up. And then we can come back in with this here to do a push, as I mentioned. See what else is hiding in there. You'll notice that what's hiding in there, you can see modeling in this beautiful dark band here. We call these dark bands, this dark nebula that's in here. Okay, and we see those all the time in galaxies. It's really something. Very nice. I don't know as dark lanes, but you can call them anything you want. Okay, basically. Dark dust, obscuring dust, all that. Okay, we have 22 here. We're going to save it. Measure 104. Save exactly as seen. All right, 23, that's good. Save that one more time. Exactly as seen. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. All right. So Measure 104 was a huge success tonight. There it is. Okay, I sneezed, sorry. I didn't hear it because I muted it. I have a cough button. Okay. Let's go see what else we can see just tonight while we're waiting. It's a little bit early for these others. But maybe we can get something out of it. It's low. Okay, I'm trying to think of something to see here that's low. That's a little low. I was going to try and show you one of these star clouds, but they're not high enough. Besides, you're not going to see the star cloud. We're going to try. We're going to try the Dumbbell. The Dumbbell Nebula is, of course, way out in the northeast, and we're going to try and see if we can see it. It's just rising. Telescope is whipping around. This will be the last item tonight if we can see it. If we can't, I'll have to find one we can. James Dugan is with us. Hi, James Dugan. What's going on, man? Okay. We should be seeing the telescope crosshairs come right down here. So we should see that momentarily. And yeah, here it comes. And okay. Now we did do the crossover. We crossed over the right there. So what we have to do now is tell it to plate solve and resync. So we're gonna say, okay, find out where you are in the sky, and then go to the thing we originally wanted. So that we did, and now it's going to go to what we originally wanted. There it is. Wow. Okay, guys, this is the first time the Dumbbell has been imaged by us with this. Okay. Now I can see that we're kind of low right now, so it's problematic. But this will stop moving here in a second. It'll be. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna go this way. Okay. And then go this way. Alright, that looks pretty good. You can see the blue star in the center of the dumbbell already. That blue star is a white dwarf. It's exceedingly hot. It's like 35,000 Kelvin. But now that we have that, again, this being the first time we've seen it, we're going to do a 20-second photo, because doing more than that with this particular object is not useful because it's so bright. Okay, we're going to do this. Well, for us, it's very bright. Let's actually get some stars. And let's see about getting some guiding going. You got it. All right. All right. So we're off in guiding right now. That's going to last forever and ever until we stop it. So let's now, we're doing a 20-second shot. So let's get out of the low light mode and go into our live stack. Now it's still low to the horizon, so it's not going to look the best. All right. So it might look a little fuzzy, kind of like the Centaurus A galaxy did. But let's see. Yeah, look at that. Wow. And the color, I don't like the color. I gotta check. Check here. Let me see here. I think one of the colors. That should be more blue. So I'm going to. I think it's pre-processing here. Let's go down here. There it is. Look at that. It's off. It shouldn't be off. This is what it has to be. Okay. So we'll clear it and do it again. And the color will show correctly this time. Yeah. I had to just get that fixed. This had reset all my settings, and I forgot about that one. Look, and now that's the color we're looking for. There we go. Very nice. That's a beautiful dumbbell. Look at that thing, huh? Oh my gosh. Wow. This is a planetary nebula. It's the result of a star that was sort of like the sun, that used up all its hydrogen and any additional fuels, and then swelled into a red giant, and then eventually shrunk back down to a white dwarf, which you can see there as that blue dot in the middle. Okay, now this isn't even the best shot right now. I gotta move this over. First, let me color correct it. Okay, there we go. Look at that, huh? Now that blue color that you see, that teal blue, that's oxygen. All right, now doubly ionized oxygen is represented as O and then Roman numeral 2. Okay, not O3. I'm sorry, O3 rather, not O2. You would think it just should be O2. Well, singly ionized oxygen would be O2. The reason is because in their base state, they're always O1, O Roman numeral 1. Like oxygen 1 is oxygen with all of its electrons. Okay? And the thing is, we don't say that. We don't comment on that because it's redundant. So we don't often say it. We'll just say oxygen, not oxygen 1. Oxygen 1 is the base state where it has all of its electrons. So this is, I can't get over how beautiful this is. This is a nebula then that has some hydrogen that is being ionized, and that's H2. Okay, so because H1 is the base state of hydrogen, but when the single electron in hydrogen is bumped off, it's ionized, so we call it H Roman numeral 2, H2. Okay, also known as hydrogen alpha. Okay, you can see the faint rings out here that are starting to show up. If I was to bring this in more, you'd see them better. Okay, but you'd see some noise as well. But this is absolutely gorgeous. And let me take off the sharpening right now to kind of soften some of the noise. Okay. Wow. It's better with this sharpening on there. Alright, so come here now and I will do a alignment of the color curves, color correction. A lot of blue out here, you can see. Here's what's weird about this. Okay, you see this elongated area here, and then you see this area here. It looks like an hourglass. In small telescopes, you can kind of approximate it by doing this. Okay, so small telescopes will show you something that looks like this. You don't get to see all this additional detail out here. Okay, this detail out here with these additional areas, this is stuff you just don't get to see. Midget Bird says, in so many stars in the background. That's correct. Now this is several thousand light years away from us, but it's actually, I'm not sure if it's several thousand or if it's only. Let me see if there's let me see if we got us a distance on this. Yeah, okay. It says 861 light years. It is pretty big, so that makes sense. But look at the detail in this down here. So it's fairly big. Wait till we see the Helix. The Helix Nebula dwarfs this one. And the Helix won't even be in our whole field. We're only going to see about the center of the Helix with some of the outside, going outside the view here. And Heinz going, whoa, I know, huh? Yeah. So what happened was, this star, you'll see it has this hourglass shape to it. I'm thinking that we're looking at a star that's actually that was rotating rather rapidly, and it was precessing around its axis, maybe. And as it precessed around its axis, it was blowing off hydrogen that was ionizing. You can see it out here. And I think this line right here might be currently the last line it was at. This is where it's reached. And it would probably come back the other way over time. And the core, this white dwarf at the core is actually ionizing with its extreme high temperature. It's ionizing the oxygen to make this beautiful teal, and it's ionizing the hydrogen as well as some neon and other elements. Now, when we get our spectrograph, we're going to be able to, it's a slit spectrograph, we're going to be able to look at a slice right through this and see exactly what elements are in here. It gives us a chance to actually do real science too, beyond just the pretty stuff we're doing now. Isn't that cool though? Now in our view over here from the Sonoran, where we're looking is way out here. We're looking way out here close to the horizon. Okay, so you see that you can see the Milky Way is here, and it's just starting to show up. Okay, so we're looking right out there. Okay, and that's actually pretty cool. You know, I think that's really neat. There's our Milky Way showing up, Sagittarius star cloud and so forth. Yep, so cool. Look at that, huh? So we have 19 accepted, no rejects. I'm really happy that I was adjusting the guiding parameters here. So that's really good. That's good. And I'm going to just come in here and go to File, Settings. And under general, automatically restore last used camera or most recently used camera. Make sure I've kept starts. I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I wanted to make sure I was going to resave my settings, and I am. Okay. Look at that beautiful image. Oh my gosh. Let's over-process it for a moment just to see what's hiding in the background. Yeah, look. You can see additional stuff out here. This red, you're looking at other nebulae that are in this region also showing up with it. Okay. So we could, technically, we could come back here and say, well, you know, if we leave that over-processed stuff in and we just move this down. Okay, let me do that. Move this down. Okay, now you can see, wow, it looks really pretty, right? But I like to let it develop on its own. So it's there, but look at it. Now we see subtle cloud differences here. We can see this amazing difference in this stuff down here. It's really impressive. We can pull this in. Look at that. So guys, what do you think of the universe live in real time, huh? Isn't this something? I just find this to be a fascinating journey. Wow, really pretty. Tricia Ferrer says, amazing beauty of the colors. Yeah, the colors of the universe typically are blue, and red. You know, blue, bright blue, not this blue, but bright blue is a reflection nebula that we call it. Dust scattering the blue light from stars, just like the air molecules scatter the blue light from our sun, making it look yellowish red in the sky. Yellowish during the day, red at sunset, because more air is extracting more blue light. And the color red in the universe because of hydrogen that's being ionized and other elements that are being ionized. And we'll be able to look and see, when we look at these things, we'll be able to say, okay, be able to tell you definitively, this is neon, this is hydrogen, and here's where here's where they're different. And we'll be able to see different slices through the nebula and be able to map out all the different elements that are being shown to us here. Now it's beautiful looking. And we'll be taking images like this while we're doing those spectra, so it's going to be kind of cool. Okay, so there is a beautiful nebula. Now, just so you know, it's going to be thousands of degrees Celsius in here, okay, because of this very, very hot white dwarf. So if we got anywhere near this, most of the radiation from this is in the ultraviolet, so it's really, really hot, and it's ionizing radiation, so that could really do a number on us. Actually, it could destroy our bodies. Okay, so here's 30 images. I'm going to save right here. I was hoping we'd get the dumbbell, and it's still low to the horizon. I didn't think it'd be this pretty, by the way. I did not think it'd be this pretty. And one more time, I will do this. Actually, I'll do this one. There we go. Save the image with annotations. And we'll be done with it there. Okay. One more save. And one more save. Excellent. Alright. So there's your Dumbbell Nebula. Now, I know I said that was going to be the last one, and I probably should. But I'm going to see if there's anything else nearby that we can quickly look at. And let's see if there is. Oh, yes there is. Darn it all. We got the Veil Nebula. Haven't seen... This is very low on the horizon. Let's see if we can even see it. Oh, yes. I knew I shouldn't have stayed up tonight. Okay, that's the star 52 Cygni. And you don't see it, but there is a bright nebula right up in here. Okay, so it's coming into the view here. So if I do this and look nearby, we'll actually probably be able to do this. Yeah. Yeah, it's right there. And there's the star I was telling you, 52 Cygni. It's a foreground star. It's not actually at the veil. But we're going to do that. We're going to set the target name. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to move us up. I'll tell you why. Because I happen to know that there's a filament up here. I don't know what the angle is. I just got to do a quick shot to see what the angle is here. We'll do a 20-second shot just to do a visualization. We're not even guiding yet, so I'll do that later. Okay, let's get our stars. Here we go. Guide away, mon ami. Alright, let's see where our... Oh, it's over there. Look at that. Wow, this is going to be a really pretty shot. Oh, wow. Okay, so... And we're really maxed out here, so let's do this. Let's go back to the 1 second shot, now that I know what I'm looking at. And I'm going to take us this way. And then take us this way. And take 52 Cygni out of the view. You'll see why in a moment. And we'll do a quick shot again. 20 seconds, all we need. Alright, and just see where it is. I'll do this just in case there's an off chance that it might be in a right position. Oh, it's not bad. So this goes up to a point up above here. But this is beautiful. I can see how this is going to be beautiful. Okay, one more time. Alright, let's do this. Don't do that. Thank you. Stop doing that. Okay, now we're back here. Now I see the nebula here now. I could bring our gain way up, so I can actually see the nebula here. And then bring it down. There's the point. I know you can't see it, but it's there. Oops, wrong way, Feldman. This point is just stunning. And it's right about right there now. Okay. So we're going to come down from 587 gain back to around 250. We don't even need to go down to 250. We should go to, I'll do a 251. Why not? Okay. Now we're going to do a 25-second shot. That's all we need. And thank you for sticking with me today on this. And now what I'll do is come in here and stop, reacquire some stars. And start the guiding. Oh, perfect start for that. There's the guiding. Okay, so now if this first one works by chance, we'll be good. Alright, let's do this. Okay. Let's see our first image. Okay, so we have the point, and we have a little bit of that down there. And again, we're very low to the horizon right now. Okay, but we're going to be looking right at this section here. There's so much to see in there. Alright, let's go to our histogram. Let's color correct. Great. And let's bring this in a little bit, right to about here. Now we're gonna see just this extreme tip. But we're gonna drop this down for now to cut some of the noise. Actually, I could add a bilateral filter right now to help combat some of that noise. See the filaments? Notice the colors. The colors are greenish blue and red. Again, we're looking at the most common element in the universe, hydrogen, being ionized. And the third most common element in the universe, oxygen, being doubly ionized. Just incredible. Really, really something. Turn off the bilateral. What do we got? That'll work. It goes all the way here and it ends right there. Very, very fragile, tenuous pieces. And we've got 5 captured already. Because we're guiding, I don't really need to worry too much about this full width half maximum filter, because this thing here is locked on and allows the guiding to be almost perfect. Isn't this beautiful? Beautiful colors. Now technically, if you want to see what the image, how it's being built up, if I take this down to where we don't see the noise at all, okay, all right, kind of like maybe here, maybe even a little lower, then what you see is you see this background looks more smooth. Well, this smooth background means that this is how much data we've got here for real, and we're actually pushing more data up and out by pushing this over. Okay, but you don't want to get to the point where you're basically looking like this. Watch when I over process. That's noisy, crappy, ugly, right? You don't want that. And again, we only have 8 photos that we've captured here, but look at the beautiful intricacy in here. Oh my God. Trisha Ferrer says the filaments are gorgeous. James Dugan says great detail for 25 seconds. Yeah, I gotta tell you, that's this scope. I mean, we wanted to get a good scope, so this is a 11-inch system. Hopefully, I'm going to get a really good project in my visual effects business coming in. It looks like that may happen, and if so, it may be in the running for me to donate a 17-inch scope that we can buy, or even bigger. Got a hope for that. And if so, this telescope will come down and we'll replace it with a much bigger scope. And then that scope will go in yet another location. Maybe out in the San Luis Valley in Colorado. We've been offered, we've been asked if we wanted to be willing to put one out there. Yes. Look at the details showing up now, guys. See this? See how that shows up? Really, really impressive. Let's pull this back a little to see if there's some faint detail we might be missing. That's really pretty. The wisps are getting very, very, very detailed. Quite a bit different from the very first one we took, isn't it? Look at that. Let's do another color correction. By the way, those of you who know me, basically it's like just one more. Which is kind of funny because I'm known as, Mark Just One More D'Antonio when it comes to doing images. I said, okay, we were done with the Dumbbell Nebula. Want to bet? Just one more. So we're doing the Western Veil, the tip of the Western Veil. And it's kind of funny because I haven't said just one more to anybody in my family. But my son, Hunter, whose middle name is Orion, by the way, Hunter Orion, he goes to the gym and he pushes himself just one more. So he got a tattoo on his leg, just one more, which is kind of funny because I've never talked to him about the just one more context here. So that's kind of neat. Now the moon will be rising soon. Over here you can see the light actually showing up over here. This here is the moonlight starting to come in. You can see these clouds? This is really important to see. These clouds in the sky are dark against the sky. That's how you know you have a dark sky sight, is when the clouds that are showing up are dark against the sky. And they are. Beautiful. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is first time I've done this. And this is low to the horizon. This is not very high above the horizon. We're talking 25, where'd it go? Oh, we're talking 25 degrees above the horizon. That's incredible. And this isn't even the best veil. The east veil is the better one. So why am I not there? I don't know. Oh. Of course, I got 17 here. So I could... Oh, just one more again. Oh, just one more again. All right. I'm going to save this. Save it exactly as seen. Okay. Okay. You guys win. All right, you're twisting my arm. You're twisting my arm. It's not fair. You shouldn't do that to me. But you are twisting my arm. You meanies. Okay. So we're going to go back here. And we're going to go to the Eastern Veil. Here we go. All right. And you can see it right here. We're seeing a section of it. I don't actually know what section. This is the first time I've looked at it with this telescope, so I'm not sure. I think it's right here. We might be in a good spot right here. Let me get the guiding going again, because it will not have been able to guide for this. But we'll certainly have stars to do it. There's many, many, many stars here. Okay, so we can do this, and we'll guarantee to get some stars. Here we go. Guide away, mon ami. Okay. So now, let's do a 25-second shot here. Why? Because I'm a glutton for punishment. It's probably 1:45 a.m. No, 1:39 a.m. Not bad. Okay, let's come out of the low light mode and go into the live stack mode, because I'm confident we're going to see something. I think it's right here. That's where I think it is. James Dugan, twist. Yeah. Catherine Messick, just one more. Yeah, see, you know me. Oh, wow. Okay. Yep. The right choice has been made. Wow. Oh, Trisha, my gosh, thank you so much. Wow. Is this the image that made that happen? Jeez. Thank you. Yeah, Sky Tour family is amazing, you know? You guys humble me every time I do this. Incredible. Jeez. Thank you. Look at this beautiful image. And there's more down here, see? A little more. Wow, look at these details. And this is going to get more and more detailed. You'll notice that we're not rejecting any because we're actually well above our guiding threshold. But I'm going to drop this down to about here just in case we get some wind. And speaking of our streams, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I suggest that Michael and Tiffany are going to be giving us more equipment to give away. So you Calabos and Tiffany, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe if I misunderstood, I'm sorry, but I don't think I did. I think you said you're going to make this happen. Thank you, Tricia. That's very kind. Wow. Look, it's getting better and better as we look, guys. Wow. Calabo says, I'm doing what the TikTok kids do. This is only a 25-second exposure, folks. Look at this. Again, the red is ionized hydrogen gas. The blue screen, that's ionized oxygen. Again, it makes sense because oxygen's third most prevalent in the universe and hydrogen is the most prevalent. But this material was blown off of the star that went supernova. This is a supernova remnant. Yeah, see, Mike says, Calabos, more items to give away? Aye, absolutely. Not this evening, however, but soon. I want to thank you guys. You guys, you know, Michael and Tiffany, along with Isabella, are like the glue that has held us together a lot of times because, you know, they're not getting paid. I'm not getting paid. But look what you get. Oh, my gosh. This is just stunning. And it's low to the horizon. I keep saying that over and over. But this is low to the horizon. It can only get about 50 times better than this. It's only... it's 26 degrees above the horizon. Holy cow. Wait until we actually start viewing the North American Nebula. No, not tonight. I want to, but I can't. It's too low. There it is. It's only right there. It's actually higher. I gotta save something for the future. Isabella rocks indeed, Calabos. Yeah. Wow, this is something. This is the first time that I've seen this with this telescope and this camera combination. It's just stunning. Yeah, I dragged some contrast. Look at that. Move this down, drag a little more get rid of some of make it a little bit more detailed. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that that's an interstellar nebula? Tricia says, and it's real. It's out there. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely is. There's more. Like down below here. Look at that. These tendrils. I got to tell you about these tendrils. These are really interesting because these fine tendrils you see here. Now, yeah, that could be the material that's being pushed away from the original location of the star, but it's running into other material in the interstellar medium. Okay, it's not going out into emptiness. It's going out into other dust. It's going out into other gas, and these collisions raise the temperature of this thing really, really high. Okay, and so you also get in here potentially. Recent research shows that you're getting electrical currents in these tendrils, and that could be in part what's helping to shape them. Okay, Tiffany for the Starlink bill. My gosh, holy cow! Thank you, Tiff. But wait, you're supposed to be doing equipment. You don't have to give money to. Holy cow, this is fantastic. Thank you. Wow. Yeah. Unbelievable. I see these pink ribbons on these, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what a stunning night. Wait until we get the full Milky Way up. The pillars of creation are stunning. I did image them when they were so low at the horizon, they were just muddy. But they're going to look like this, and they're going to be gorgeous. Look at the detail in here. We never got this detail in the Sonoran telescope because it was much smaller. We saw the whole thing at once. But now we're seeing a section of it, and it's incredible. Unbelievable. So again, electrical currents might be shaping some of these filaments that we see here. It's kind of a new branch of research, and computer models are trying to confirm that that's possible. I think it's possible, though. And the reason is because whenever something's ionized, it's above the base state of the atom, which has no net charge. Okay, but protons are positively charged, electrons are negatively charged. They balance. Hydrogen has one proton, one electron. Plus one, okay, minus one. And so they balance. There's zero net charge. Okay, so if you ionize hydrogen, now you have a plus one charge in that proton. And that's what all this stuff is out here. This is all plus one charged stuff. And a bunch of free electrons roaming around. But they fall back into the atom randomly. And when they fall back into the atom, as they fall back in, they give off the energy that they gathered to leave the atom. And it gives off light. In the form of a hydrogen atom, it gives off red light predominantly. Gives off other colors, but it gives off red light predominantly. So oxygen does the same thing. And you see this tangled mess of color in here. And you think about this. This is real. Look at this. It's almost three-dimensional. I almost think like Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park and other movies. Like, well, I have to say that, we're looking at potential origins of life here, and we're kind of looking to me at the processes, the forces that force shockwaves along the leading frontier as it's opening up and moving out into the universe, and causing it to compress gas clouds and dust clouds together to make stars. And then you end up getting, when you get those stars, you end up getting a possibility of having the most amazing thing happen, and that is you get these beautiful whatchamacallits, filaments. Okay, Eastvale Nebula, set that target name. Okay. Save with annotations. So we saved it with annotations. Now we get this. Looks like a dragon's head. Yes, it does. I can see that. This looks like the eye. Here's that crown on top. Here's the mouth, the face. It's scowling at me though. Or unless you see it the other way, where the dragon's head is looking down, like this is the eye, here is the forehead, here's the mouth. Kind of does look like that, doesn't it? But that's just the section we're looking at. You know what this screams for, right? This is the field of view we have with this telescope. Let me zoom out to bring in the whole field. Okay, that's our field of view with this scope. So you know what that means? It's crying out for a mosaic. They just put up together a bunch of them to make the whole thing. Oh yes, but not tonight. Yeah, an astronomer and scientist calling to watch them call. Yeah, I know. You know what? I gotta be honest. It's sort of taken me aback. I'm stunned with how beautiful this looks. And you guys know that I don't mince words. It's gorgeous. You know, it's really, really beautiful. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm gonna save it one more time here. Okay, save exactly the scene. Oof. I have to say, I have never seen this look so good. And by the way, good thing we didn't open. It got cloudy out in the Sonoran. It happens very quickly. Alright, so right now, I don't think you mind though, considering what we're seeing, right? Jeez. Trisha Ferreira, we turn back into children full of wonder. Yeah. Makes me think of that space station plan I sent to NASA when I was 11 years old. And he sent me back a box full of patches and books and and model kits. Oh my gosh. And the guy that examined it was a NASA scientist at the time. And he actually examined my space station plan, torn notebook page by torn notebook page out of the notebook I had. It was a spiral bound, so when I tore them out, I even left little paper fringes on it because I was so excited. I was drawing plans with rulers. I had carbon scrubbers to remove the carbon dioxide from the air. I had pigs and cows on board for meat and for milk. I had it rotating dumbbells at rotating fast enough to make 1 G of gravity. And the guy that reviewed it made all comments throughout my plan and sent me a letter saying, fascinating ideas. We're using some of this. Look at your plan. I wrote down all the things that we use. Okay. And I went and I just went over that plan over and over. I saw his writing, his little check marks. You know, he wrote the little backward check marks. You know how people write the check marks one way? He did them backwards. And it's okay. Well, anyway, it took about 45 years. But I contacted him again. And it would be no surprise to you to know that NASA scientist had moved on from NASA. And now he's at Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, where one of our viewers is right now. And his name is Gentry Lee. And his job as the chief engineer is he has the purview and runs every one of the robotic missions to the outer solar system. Perseverance, Curiosity, okay, New Horizons, Dawn Probe, the Vesta and Ceres, the landers on Mars, all the landers, okay. He was the chief engineer of all of these projects. And that's the man that got me into astronomy. You know, I just was amazed that he remembered that he did that stuff when he was at NASA. He didn't remember me, but he remembered when he was at NASA. He did that. He says, "Oh, it sounds like me," when I commented on it. Yeah, I don't remember you directly, but I do remember that that's the kind of stuff I did. Absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, see, Curtis Horn says he's a great guy. I've seen his talks on systems engineering. Yeah, phenomenal guy. I was in Pasadena for Alien Con because A&E brought me out because of the show The Proof Is Out There that I'm on for the last 5 seasons, actually. And, oh, gorgeous. The colors pop when you color correct. And I wanted to go see him. But I didn't have a car, and I had no way to get to JPL, which is just down the road. You know, on the way in, the driver that drove us in, we went right by it. But I don't know if he was there, you know, at the time, but it was incredible. So now, let me just make a comment. Remember how rough this looked in the beginning? Now look, we can zoom in, right? And we can see all this detail in here, and it's much clearer. Because a lot of the noise is gone because we've averaged a lot of it out. So if we take this and go way down now, again, we can see the detail in here. Look at the detail. It's incredible. Yeah, Gentry Lee wrote science fiction as well, Sam S. Yeah. He did. I mean, his name is really Bert Lee. And he signed my letter from when he was working at NASA. He signed it Bert Lee. But he's the guy that got me into astronomy. I mean, I decided I was going to go into astronomy before that. And the linchpin to make me feel like I had made the right choice was when Gentry Lee sent me back all that detail. I felt if a scientist was willing to talk to me, a little niner, I think I was actually 9.5 at the time I did the plan. If a scientist is willing to talk to me, I want to be a scientist. I want to be an astronomer. And when I was 9, I did have a missing time event. And it was because of that missing time event, I started looking up at the universe and seeing the night sky and thinking, there's got to be more out there. I was actually afraid to look up in the sky because I was afraid I was being watched. It was really weird. I just felt like don't be stupid, Mark. You know, that's how I felt. But it was really something else, and it really affected me. Look at that filament right there. We just don't have this level of detail with the other telescope because it's such a wide field. We do have the beautiful full fields, though, and that's really great. Ah, gosh, that's gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to save this. Save it exactly as seen. Wow. Okay, folks, I hate to do this, but I'm going to actually do one more thing, though. I'm going to, not one more, but I'm going to just save the image with annotations one more time. Okay. All right, so what you get is this image. All right. In addition to the actual image, you get this image identifying this. Okay. So we have 39. I'll wait till 40. I'm really pleased with this. This is just gorgeous. Now we got more. Let me see if I can add some more sharpening. Well, the sharpening seems to add a significant amount of detail, but let's go all the way to... Wow. Okay, 41. I'm going to save it. Okay. Save it exactly as seen. All right, so if you go to skytourlive.org, okay, this is the image that you can get. All right, now we're at 42 frames, so we're going to be down the bottom here. Look at that. That's the image that's free for you right now up on our server. Check that out. I want you to download this image. Play with it, enjoy it, put it in your background, whatever. I'm beside myself. This has been such a great night. Yeah. Wow. I want to thank you guys for coming out here and joining me tonight. I'm really, really happy that you've joined me. Let's see where our guide is. Guide is still going strong. Okay, we're set. We just saved this last one. And it's gone. I hate to do that, but I had to. Okay, and now we'll go to our low light mode again. There we are. Let me zoom out. There's our full field. Alright guys, this was a great stream. I really enjoyed your company. This was wonderful. Daryl hopefully will join us next time. Boy oh boy did he miss out. So I'm gonna have a field day tomorrow doing processing of these guys. Ay. It's gonna be crazy. Anyway, I hope you guys have a really good night. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And we're gonna try and go every other night if I can while we on the backside of the moon. When I say backside of the moon, what I mean is the moon is past full and it's gonna go into new, so the moon rises later and later and later, and that's really good for us. Okay, so you guys have a good night. Look forward to seeing you next time, and remember, when you go out, keep looking up, guys. All right, so good night everybody, and we'll see you again.
Stars so bright in the sky, on Arizona nights they fly. Nebulae in colors rare, galaxies beyond compare. Sky tour in the night so clear, brings the universe near. Real-time wonders to see, streaming light for you and me. Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky tours bringing the views, every night feels brand new. In the dark, the night unfolds, stories of the cosmos told. Through the lens, a distant dream, living real like a gleam. Far away, up so high, across the stars beyond the skull. Through the lens, a distant dream, living real like a gleam. Lift your eye up so high, across the stars beyond the sky. Sky tour shows us the way, every night a new display. Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky tours bringing the views, every night feels brand new. Lift your eyes to the skies, universe in all its light. Sky tours bringing the view,